people would have expected, especially again with that just like name power that Sandstorm brings to the table. But you got to give Stingray credit. He is a monster in his own right.
Yeah, so something interesting to note. I was talking about in one of the previous sets that it was really close game count, but here it's 6-5 in the matches, in the set count, but in the game count it's 25-17 in Sandstorm's favor. So when Sandstorm is winning, he's winning kind of hard in this matchup, but not playing the Sir Roland as Duke so elegantly analyzed here, switching over to the Tesla.
Yep, Tesla definitely going to be that comfort pick for Sandstorm at this point. I think he's realized, you know what, Mirage just might not be the pick. It's all about the Tesla today. Meanwhile, Stingray starting off, has that 7, has that spear. Just going for some solid spear plays.
Yeah, and of course, you know, Sandstorm being known for the Mordex and that Scythe, but also one of the GOATs of combats for sure. So we're going to see that kind of come into effect as we see 2 weapons that are on the larger hitbox side. Of course, Cannon having that burstiness, but Spear being one that's really good at kind of creating those hitboxes. Sandstorm is going to be really good at bursting and having so much experience versus Spear. But look at the Cannon play from Stingray, and oh my goodness, the downlight recovery not quite enough.
Oh. Man, Stingray is tricky. You can tell this is definitely not a new pickup. He's been putting in the time and using the back end of the side sig. That is a whole disc around 7, and so that back part of it ends up catching Sandstorm. Stingray going to get that first stock.
A super underrated tool at catching cross-ups. And a lot of times you're going to see players choosing the safe option, especially on faster weapons, getting through your opponent and saying, I'm going to reset to center stage. But Stingray saying, no, none of that. 7 having that sig is going to be so good at covering as we see that big what is those, junk ball, fireballs coming out from the machine is going to be able to close that one out.
The cannon blast coming out from the mech.
Yep.
Stingray, he's really using that kind of like the guichaboos out there, right? They'll use that gravity cancel neutral sig to cover themselves. Sandstorm does manage to get the KO with the gauntlet recovery, but he took a decent amount of damage there. Okay.
Immediate aggression from Sandstorm after hitting that sig. Wow. So far, Stingray looking to play kind of preemptively and try to catch Sandstorm in their movement, but Sandstorm's not giving anything. That's a big catch, though.
Yeah, I mean, at this rate, Stingray just needs to find 1 or 2 big hits on the Sandstorm. Could be putting Sandstorm to that final stock. Sandstorm, good active input, puts him back onto the stage, recognizes Stingray likes that sig, and so that's a big punish coming out from Sandstorm, but not quite enough to KO just yet. Oh! I don't know if that was intentional, but I guarantee you if I was in Sandstorm's shoes, I'd do the exact same thing of just stand there and hope that it misses.
Yeah, that was very interesting, and Sandstorm having the discipline to not dash back to the center of the stage. A lot of times when you're playing that game where you're both kind of jockeying for positioning, one is going to try to dash back to the center, and if Sandstorm did, it would have been the end of that stock, but standing there being cool, calm, and collected on the unarmed gets it down strong. But there, Stingray evening up the stock count here.
All right, now it's over to that spear. Currently in the lightning form. Haven't seen Stingray put on the flamethrower just yet.
They're very important to stall in the air, especially with no soft platforms to assist your landing. That down air is going to be a good one at that. But Sandstorm continuing the pressure, not giving Stingray any comfort on the ground. Basically, all of the real estate on the ground is just belonging to the boots on Sandstorm's Pesca.
Oh, but a good dodge from Stingray. Avoids that side sig and takes the opportunity to put on the flamethrower as Sandstorm's coming back with a neutral sig. Going to bounce him and disarm.
Big disarm and big boot pickup from Sandstorm. The boots have been doing absolute wonders versus the 7 so far. That sig being a big part of that. That's crazy that connected.
Okay, downlight side air. I'm baffled why he did the throwback. Again, that boots down sig has active input, and I swear if you bounce him off the stage, it will KO sooner, and they were closer to the right side. I don't know why he went to the left, but you know what? He got the KO, so I'm a fool either way.
Yeah, Sandstorm wanting to work a little bit harder for the KO there. Say, I want to hit another downlight Sair, keep my confirms fresh there, and that's going to be exactly that. As we see a pretty even split between the gauntlets and the boots at 503 damage, but maybe like 60 more on the side of the boots there.
I was really impressed with that damage difference between the two of them. 1 damage. Stingray had 1 more tick of damage than Sandstorm to close that one out.
Nice active input there to extend for more of a horizontal punish there. Gets the side light into the side air once again. Tries to hold the corner away from Stingray, and Stingray actually having a little bit of a moment of comfort in that nair, but Sandstorm immediately dashing in again out of hit stun and just saying, I'm going to continue to contest you on the ground. You will not be comfortable anywhere on my Demon Island.
Yeah, really wants to keep Stingray in the air and not give him that opportunity to go for that side light read that Spear players historically like to do, but there's the big fist, the down sig coming out from Stingray to follow up.
That being a traditional 7 combo, not so much Cannon, but that Sig being very good at covering that defensive option. Something that Cannon can definitely struggle to cover, that 45 degree in front of them. That Sig's going to be good at doing that.
Ooh, good spot dodge.
Good reaction from Stingray, wow.
Get the KO because of it, ends up getting that string, side light, down light, side air, the classic, but he wants the cannon now. Down Sig, done.
Talking about that too, Sandstorm being one of the players that is so good at recognizing that's going to KO and getting as much vertical as possible to start a weapon juggle. Just trying to deny Stingray, but Stingray getting the spear immediately. No weapon deny from Sandstorm, but still having the boots online and continuing the pressure. It seems as if Stingray cannot touch the ground for any reason whatsoever. Sandstorm is all over Stingray's landings.
Yeah, he wants to stay stacked up against Stingray. Stingray, though, able to throw out that side signature, covers pretty close onto him. Side light looking for the read there. Sandstorm gets high enough.
Big combos and gets the reversal side air there. Sandstorm trying to position back and continue to hold the corner. The weapon gets knocked away as well, but Sandstorm all too comfortable on that unarmed.
Down light, side air. Yup, Stingray went a little too high with that cannon recovery, and Sandstorm was like, I got an easy punish with your name on it.
It's really smart for Sandstorm to consistently on Demon Island say, I don't have to go off stage, because a lot of times, because the wall is so small, you don't have that extra mix-up where you can do a side air on cannon and get back low, but it doesn't matter. Stingray's been connecting, no matter what element, that side sig is paying dividends so far.
Yeah, that's definitely been Stingray's big signature choice, especially on that spear. Side light, there's the dodge down, but Stingray was expecting to stay high.
Neutral, I doesn't quite find an extension off of it. But Stingray getting a ground pound there and forcing Sandstorm in a tricky situation. I was talking about the ground dominance of Sandstorm, but Stingray now had a little control there, but Sandstorm continues this juggle with these nairs and looking to find a ground pound there, gets whip punished by the neutral light, charges the Sig, expecting Sandstorm to dodge through. Another whiff punish comes through on the side of Sandstorm. We're back to center, and the side Sig comes through, and the neutral Sig from Stingray.
So it disarms him, avoids the fire, spot dodging through the ground pound. Sandstorm still finding hits. He's going to take game number 2, both of them with one weapon. A little bit of health. Neutral Sig, not quite enough.
The Sandstorm special at this point, those neutral Sigs have been so consistent at connecting. As I say that, a Sig gets whiffed by Sandstorm, and Stingray is able to close out that stock. We can all sigh a breath of relief, especially for Stingray with that side air connection.
Yeah, I mean, that was so valuable, not only because it gives you the game, but it puts you in a position where you're not having to win 3 in a row to hopefully close out the set. Instead, this is now just like a best of 3.
Yeah, exactly, and having potential to pull away now. But yeah, that side air is going to be a big whiff from Sandstorm and a great whiff punish from Stingray. We go back to Demon Island here.
3, 2, 1.
All right, game number 3, currently tied 1-1. No character swaps on either side. Sandstorm still sticking with the Tesca, wants those boots, wants that weapon denial from Stingray as well.
Here, Sandstorm immediately going back to work and conditioning that, conditioning the fact that Stingray needs to stay in the air, and Stingray kind of assuming that position as well, but still in the corner, finding a lot of opportunities to get back into center stage with that side light hitbox and try to catch Sandstorm dashing in and bursting close to the spear. Very important to be able to check the aggression, but checking aggression, it's probably the hardest to do on one of arguably the most aggressive players of all time in Sandstorm.
Yeah, he's very good at keeping his aggression at just the right pace around his opponents. Stingray, he's got to be careful. If he goes a little too high there, could get caught by a downlight, but manages to avoid the down sig reverse from Sandstorm.
Avoids and wait, but a crazy mix-up comes on the side of Stingray. The Sigs are coming through, and they are working for Stingray as he goes for a gravity capsule and tries to catch Sandstorm, landing back towards center stage, but doesn't quite find it there.
Neutral Sig again from Sandstorm, says stay out of the sky. He'll grab you down, rip you down, and bounce you off the stage. Sandstorm gets the KO, but look at the health difference. Stingray just needs to find that one hit.
Sandstorm conditioning those jumps and getting conditioning those jumps with the boots, getting the gauntlets, and then getting that neutral stick to call out the jumps is just so vicious as that downlight into the nair comes through from Stingray. One of the bread and butters for cannons that all cannon players love to hit.
Now Stingray back onto the spear, side six his way up, and that's a burn dodge, which means Sandstorm gets a solid string here, finishes it off with that down air.
I like that, going to the side light, not seeing a side air, but instead calling it out with a nair. Good punish from Stingray, looking to try and some control in the crown as Sandstorm continues to be so crafty. I mean, look at the movement so far from Sandstorm. Can't get hit. Finally, the side air from the cannon connects. Goes for a big side stick, doesn't quite find it though, and with punishes that cannon swing, and that's not going to be a great spot to be in versus these boots.
Man, Stingray, he's trying to be tricky. It's almost like he's using that down sig as like a hitbox to jump, because you see that nair come out right afterwards. So he's like really just trying to bait Sandstorm in, but Sandstorm finds the down air. Does Stingray have the movement? No, he will fall.
Once again, the boots from Sandstorm closing out another stock on Stingray's side as Sandstorm looks to go up 2-1 in the set here. The cannon comes online, the ground pound connect, goes for a nair to call out the juggle, doesn't quite find it. The neutral light from the unarmed coming through for Sandstorm, but still that gravity cancel down light into the neutral air. We saw that kind of similarly where players are now really willing to swing out of the corner using those gravity cancel down lights with the cannon.
I also, like, it's really hard to detail out what's happening, but there is this moment every time Sandstorm gets a hit where they're both playing a mind game of, is Stingray going to immediately swing out of getting hit, or is Sandstorm going to swing onto Stingray immediately after getting that hit?
Yeah, exactly, and that's that little kind of calm in the storm.
Yo!
Oh, no.
3 callouts from Sandstorm, Sair after Sair after Sair, into the end sig, and Sandstorm takes game number 3.
You don't even have a moment to talk when you commentate Sandstorm boost sometimes. I was trying to explain something. I don't even remember what happened. What happened, though, at the end of that game was 3 side air callouts into an end sig to close out that stock. And look at the damage differential. 374 on boots, 90 on gauntlets, almost as much as the unarmed. Oh my goodness, only 10 damage separating the two players as, yeah, I mean, Sandstorm was down there and was able to close it out with 3 big reads.
Absolute absurdity. Sandstorm says, analyze this play instead of whatever else y'all were talking about. But here we go. Game number 4. Sandstorm starting it off with the gauntlets here. Might be an opportunity for Stingray to get some damage before Sandstorm swaps to those boots.
Comes through, nice dodge to avoid that weapon toss from Stingray. And tries to go for a weapon denial there. Doesn't get it. Still has the Orbital to catch his own spirit weapon toss. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits of going for that kind of vertical toss, is that it will come back down so you can pick it up instead of those horizontal tosses, which generally will disarm you if you miss.
Speaking of which, that was a little bit of a showcase there from Sandstorm as the weapon tosses exchange, and now Sandstorm having the stage to a Stingray. That has a crazy hitbox on the way back to the stage.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good coverage. I'm just surprised at Sandstorm's reaction there, because he did a down sig the complete opposite direction. There's the down sig, there's the bounce. Stingray gonna hold on.
See that from Sandstorm using the recovery early there to position to go high, forcing Stingray to go low on the smaller walls of Demon Island, and that turnaround ground pound is going to be so clinical from Sandstorm to close out that stock and get the first lead of this game. Number 4 tries to go for a sig read there. This is a big opportunity for Sandstorm. No recovery to call out that dodge, and now Stingray thanking their lucky stars and cashing in with that downlight into the neutral air on the cannon.
They're doing a really good job not immediately panic dodging. You saw Sandstorm really trying to catch Stingray off guard there. Gotta keep this one even. Double downlight into the side air. Stingray getting some good damage.
Nice check there, trying to dash back to center stage. West Sandstorm gets called out by Stingray, but still the dash into the center stage works once again.
Oh.
Big catch.
Oh,
that's 2.
Is he touching? He still touches the wall.
Yeah.
Sandstorm backs away.
Big discipline from Sandstorm there. Another double downlight into the recovery, but not quite enough to close out that stock yet. The downlights are coming through, because you know what confirms on the way. Downlight into Nair for Stingray and saying, hey, I'm ready to force a game 5. Let's dance.
Dude, he is so good at hitting those downlight nairs, just catching the landings. That's something you called out when we were in the bag, is like using that cannon downlight to just catch the landing of opponents.
And especially important on a stage with no soft platforms. Another side sig attempt from Sandstorm, whiffing, but no punish from Stingray, as the spear is still online and looking to try to find some space back to the stage, but it doesn't work out as Sandstorm gets the big call, and I love that from Sandstorm, throwing up and denying the weapon spawn just a little bit more. as the cannon goes back online for Stingray and goes for just the downlight into the downers. We haven't been seeing the big cannon strings, and oh, that was scary. Wait, here we go. Sandstorm gets the recovery, called out the dodge.
Still finding hits, but Stingray swings back again. He's sometimes waking up out of getting hit, and Sandstorm is not always expecting it.
Shades of Game 3 here, where Sandstorm had a big damage disadvantage here, and just one edge guard is all it takes to equalize, but the ground pound doesn't come through and gets the downer to call out the side air, and Sandstorm barely able to touch, still gets hit, uses the dodge early as they both fall, but Stingray falls first. What is Stingray doing? And that's going to be Sandstorm winning 3-1. I can't believe what just happened.
No. Okay, they're banning out maps. I think that was a spectator issue, and it looks like we're going to a Game 5. There's no way they're banning out maps if Sandstorm just won that. Mod check? Mod check?
We're going to have a little break here as we talk a little bit
If
more
that
about
was
it.
really what happened, absolute absurdity. But I feel like we're going to have to put a little bit of a breather and say, okay, wait, what's really going on? Because, yeah, they're getting into a Game 5.
Yeah, so if that's the case, then we're going to get into a Game 5 here. I mean, I don't even need to see the stats to know that Sandstorm's boots have been absolutely dominating the ground game here so far versus Stingray. Stingray, though, having kind of a similar consistency as Mina in South America, like always getting a downlight and finding the downlight that confirms into a KO. It's kind of insane to see how, you know, Hammer and kind of having a similar pop-up into a KO move. As we get into what looks like Game 5 here on Demon Island. No scenery change.
Yeah, no swamps or nothing. We got our Game 5 here. Stingray starting this one off with the cannon. I feel like he wants to start off with the spear for the damage build, and then he goes over to the cannon for those downlight neutral air KOs like you've been talking about. Meanwhile, Sandstorm, I feel like he's like 100% about the boots right now.
Yeah. It makes sense to me, right? I mean, a flat stage, no side platforms. You don't really need to go for like sharking under a soft platform when there are no platforms, and the boots is going to be having so much of that horizontal range to call out landing, similar to that downlight on the cannon.
Ooh, trying to catch that jump there. Weapon toss goes through as Stingray manages to hit Sandstorm first. Nice positioning. Downlight down here. No follow-up. Nair looking for the read, but Stingray manages to dodge the sideline.
And no dodge there, using that on the gravity cancel. That's an easy tap-in for Stingray. That is such a scary read to go for when you have to be so certain to go for a gravity cancel sidelight into offstage territory, because all it takes is one slight reversal from the spear. And it could be Stingray running away with it so far. Gets side stick, but doesn't get a follow-up after that. The sider not quite enough to close out the stock.
Oh.
Good respect from Sandstorm, but could have been a punish, I feel like, if Sandstorm was better positioned.
Yeah, he really gave respect to that hitbox. Wasn't sure if Stingray was going to come back up. The second he saw Stingray go into the wall, he was like, oh, I need to punish this, but was just a little bit too late. Downlight doesn't get the chase dodge recovery there, and Stingray getting some big hits onto Sandstorm. There's the recovery, but Sandstorm's playing from behind.
Stingray is playing so tight. I mean, overall, just like every opportunity that Sandstorm drops to get a KO or any whiff, even when you're in disadvantage, Stingray saying, you know what, I don't care. I'm going to find a way to punish you for it, as that down light into the neutral punishes and closes out and potentially puts Sandstorm on their winner's side life right now.
Yeah, now Sandstorm has to bring out the biggest plays possible. Saw the dodge come out from Stingray. There's another dodge. Sandstorm finding some good hits here onto Stingray, recognizing the dodge is burned, go for the sidelight recovery, just free damage.
Sandstorm hasn't been hit yet, switches over to the boots and finally does get hit by that nair from Stingray to try to deny a weapon grab there. Big nair turnaround, catches the middle, has the juggle now for Stingray. Sandstorm avoiding it there, but still in a really bad spot as this extra credit is slowly building up. It's looking harder and harder for Sandstorm to get back into this one. All it takes is one big hit from the boots, and we're going to see that right now in Sandstorm's attempt to come back in the game. But once again, Stingray holds center stage. The cannon comes online. It is time for that downlight nair percent, everybody.
Sandstorm, oh!
Ground pound.
Goes for a GC downlight. Stingray with the ground pound. Sandstorm still needs to finish off this stock and then go for another one. Otherwise, he's going down to the elimination side, and yes, he will. Stingray is going into the winner's final, a guaranteed top 3 finish.
On 7 of all characters. I mean, obviously the newest legend in the game, and having that representative immediately in the top 3 here, absolutely amazing stuff from the side of Stingray, as we see the speed